Hi everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television. Welcome to this first season edition of Missoula Live. The show is typically hosted by Kim Anderson. My co-host is doing some work for Humanities Montana. She's out of town. She'll be back with me on October 10th. So I hope you all had a good summer. I certainly did. I got back to work very excited to put together. This is the 5th year we're doing this, and it's the Do It in 72 Film Festival. It's a contest, I mean to say, that we're offering $500 cash prize to the top prize winner, $300 for the second place, and then a $100 honorable mention. This festival, contest is interesting because you have to do the film in 72 hours. Scott was showing you the website. And on the website, you'll see this wrap. You come here to MCAT at 500 North Higgins on Friday, September the 30th, and we say to you, this is great. You're going to make a 4-minute movie over the next 72 hours, and it has to have this in it, that in it, and this other thing in it. That's to make it fun, to make sure that all of the participants didn't start the movie early. However, you can get performers for your movie, you can write the script, you can scout out locations, you can get music together. We don't want you to use copyrighted music, so you can get original music together for your production, and then you can come down here, hear what you got to put in it, and then have until Monday, October the 3rd at 5 to get the whole film to us. How do you do that? Well, you can send us a link to your Vimeo or your YouTube. You can give us a thumb drive with the final product on it, or a DVD with the final product on it. We will, at that time, release some information about what MCAT equipment we have for you to borrow and what MCAT editing assistance we could offer on Monday, maybe Sunday. We'll just see what happens. So that's the instinct. You want more information, go to MCAT.org. Similarly, we have started again our Saturday afternoon animation drop-in. The animation drop-in is $10, and it goes from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and suitable for kids 9 to 13. In stop animation, the kids are using a lot of Lego sets, but they're also using drawing and dry erase and other techniques. So if you are interested in that, just bring your kid here. It's a drop-in, 1 p.m., 5 p.m. every Saturday at MCAT, and the fee for the 4 hours is $10. Anyway, starting right off with this edition of Missoula Live, I have Tom Benson here, and he's going to talk to us about changes at his venerable organization that has a new name. Congratulations.
That's right. Thank you.
Everyone would know it as the Missoula Cultural Council.
That's right.
It is time to know it anew.
The new name is Arts Missoula.
Okay.
It's been we've been going through a strategic planning process over the last few years, and it kind of came up that it's been we do a lot of different things, but people have a hard time aligning with the organization. They can align with some of our events, like First Night Missoula, First Fridays, our sister city partnerships, German Fest. But what we do is we try to connect arts and culture and the community through 3 major things: education, advocacy, and celebration. And it's all about art, and it's all about art in Missoula. So
right.
We thought Arts Missoula kind of says more of who we are and what we do.
Gotcha.
It makes us a little more current, and it makes sense. Most people have commented on the name change that, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And at the same time, we have expanded our scope. We used to, just a couple of years ago, there was an office of 2, and now there's an office of 4.
Yeah, that's double.
So it's double, and we're taking on a lot more projects. Most recently, we're now the administrator for the city's public art program.
Oh, that's great.
So this public art committee at the city of Missoula has been around for 20 plus years,
that's
but they've never had any administrative help. So we're offering them administrative help. We're also the fiscal sponsor, fiscal agent for Spark, the Kennedy Center initiative with the public schools. There was a nice article in today's paper about Spark and our new director, Jacqueline Snow.
Yeah.
So we're sort of the home of Spark, and that's a great collaboration of the university and Missoula County Public Schools and artists and organizations throughout Missoula. And we're also sponsoring other events, such as the the Montana Book Festival is happening this week.
Yeah.
We're the fiscal sponsor for that as well.
And we're going to hear more about that next from John, who's in
That's right.
the bullpen.
Right. And so we're taking on a lot. We're expanding our scope, and it seemed right for a good name change.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And that process, I'm curious about it even personally because, we're going to undergo a similar process at MCAT, right? People, and just as we were discussing before we started, appointment television seems like it's becoming more and more old-fashioned, where somebody is identifying with television as a way of getting information. Well, here we are, Missoula Community Access Television.
Yeah.
Did you guys think, did anyone in the room say, oh, how can we are we throwing out 20 years of recognition with a name change?
Yeah, that was the first sort of process. The first part of the process is that you work with we worked with a consultant, and you get a professional in the room, somebody from the outside who can kind of has an outside perspective, and that's what they say is do you want to change your name? Is there a need? And so you sort of go through this standard sort of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, the SWOT analysis, and if it's in most situations, you'll come up with the answers if you do that. You'll either come up with the answers and say, no, we don't need to change anything.
But in this instance, you guys felt like, we need that. That's going to be really useful to us.
Right. Yeah, and I think it has been, and I think it does reflect more of what we do and who we are.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now, if people want to find out more, and I think I put this website up for Scott to show people at home.
There it is.
That looks really cool.
I like the website. Artsmissoula.org.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go to missoulacultural.org, it'll get redirected over.
Yeah.
But
that's how I found this. You see, because I couldn't remember.
Right. And there's
right
German
off
Fest and then that one is Spark, sort of the rolling
Yeah,
photographs.
Spark I want to hear more about as it unfolds. I was at a meeting today at the MCTAC that it's like a city MCAT meeting, and Hatton Littman of MCPS was there.
Right.
She was saying a lot of great lineup is coming through Spark.
Oh, it is. It is.
This academic.
And it's truly a collaboration of a lot of different entities that ought to be working together. Our arts community, the collection of nonprofit arts organizations, and the artists themselves, Missoula County Public Schools, and the University of Montana is a good training ground because the Creative Pulse program at the University of Montana is training people in arts integration, which is what Spark's all about, integrating arts into the mainstream subjects in school. And as I said, this is part of the Kennedy Center initiative. We were chosen by the Kennedy Center as one of now 20 cities. It's all part of the No Child Left Behind Act was replaced by Every Child Succeeds. And part of that is, in using the education jargon, is moving from STEM to STEAM. And so you got the arts in there, the arts.
Yeah.
So nationally, people are recognizing the importance of arts integration into the classroom, the importance of art for art's sake and arts enhancement, getting people out of the classroom, going to the symphony and going to the art museum and going to the children's theater. And they're already starting to do this already at the beginning of the school year.
Yeah, Missoula's a great place for it because there's a lot of arts in the town.
And over at the Zootown Arts right now, there's this Monster project. I don't know if you've seen it. That's another Spark project, and that is a great way of, kindergartners become artists, and professional artists and adult artists will work on the kindergartners' work for that. It covers a wide range, and it's really great to be a part of it. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tom, for coming by.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations on the name change. I mean, that seems like a brave thing.
That's right.
Arts
Missoula,
we all are
remember
considering here at MCAT, too.
That's right.
My hat is off to you.
Good. Well, thank you so much.
No, we'll be right back, you guys. John Rimlin's here. He's going to talk about the Montana Book Festival. He's got so many things going on. We'll probably just talk about the website a little bit. And Scott, I'm sure, has a very dynamic PSA, which we'll watch as we change out guests, and then we'll be right back.
sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Birthdays come and go, each year adding up to a lifetime full of extraordinary moments. At Missoula Aging Services, we promote the independence, dignity, and health of older adults. We are ready to help connect seniors to the help they need. Knowing you've got friends to support you, each birthday can be special. See how we can help. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
Do you want to answer that?
Nah, never with a kid in the car.
It's okay. I'm not here. I'm there.
In 1969, Montana declared the swift fox to be extinct within the state's borders.
Out of the way?
Oh yeah, that's fine. And we're back with John Rimley. He's here to talk about the Montana Book Festival. Welcome and thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you know it. So this book festival was looked after by our own co-host Kim Anderson for like
Right.
15 years, right?
Yes.
Through Humanities Montana. How is it going on now?
Well, Humanities Montana, as you mentioned, ran it for 15 years. Last year, they decided they had other priorities and sort of felt that they had fostered it long enough, and sort of like that teenager that you need to
Kick out the door.
kick out the door. They, let it loose in the world, and a group of us here in Missoula decided that this was something that we definitely wanted to see continue, and were able to get some grant funding and some donations, and had our first Montana Book Fest last year.
It was a great success.
With great
right?
success, a wider array of venues than had been used previously. We had events at the Missoula Public Library, at the Art Museum. Prior to that, the focus was primarily at the Holiday Inn, and now it's sort of much more around the community. This year there'll be events at the Wilma, at Radius Gallery, at I think Dana Gallery, Missoula Art Museum, and of course the Missoula Public Library, as well as the Saturday book festival, book fair at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah. This is so huge. I'm really impressed that you guys could pick it up and then come at it with even more diversity and more places
this year
for people to take in the readings.
There are sort of 3 separate tracks if you look in the bulletin there, or in the program. There's the youth programming that runs begins Thursday and runs Friday and Saturday, and those are largely out at the Missoula Public Library. And then there are a number of workshops that are being held also in conjunction with the book festival. And they, some of those they're sort of all over actually. Some of them are at the university, some of them are at the Holiday Inn. And
do the workshops tailor themselves to the people that are writers, that are thinking about writing, and they feel like they're
Exactly.
very new to the craft and they want to learn more?
Yep, and those are all separately ticketed events. You need to go online and register to get those. And they really run the gamut from, we have a woman coming from New York who's doing a program called Women Who Pitch, which is a workshop on how to pitch a project. One of her comments is that women are really underrepresented in opinion pieces across the country, and that ought to be changed. And then there's another one on pop-up bookmaking, which is kind of a neat idea. And then the main festival events kick off actually on Tuesday with Tell Us Something, which is
Mark's thing. Yeah,
you're
it's
familiar
wonderful.
with, I'm sure. And Tell Us Something's a absolutely wonderful event that is going to be in the Wilma on Tuesday night. It's separately ticketed. Starts at 7 p.m. You can get tickets at the Top Hat or Rockin' Rudy's or online. And this year's topic for that evening is Fork in the Road,
Yeah,
which I think holds a lot of promise for some good stories.
And then for people who don't know that or watching at home, Tell Us Something has been a really fun happening in town for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah, he's been doing a wonderful job with it. It was part of the book festival last year, filled the Denison Theater.
Yeah, and it's live storytelling where people are invited to come without a script, right? I think that's one of the rules. They don't have a script and they have 6 to 8 minutes or something like this.
Yeah,
to
I
tell
think
the
no more
story.
than like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I've seen a lot of them because we've recorded a lot of them, and they're really fun, right?
Yeah, KUFM aired a couple last night, as a matter of fact,
Oh, yeah.
and I sat in the car and listened to one of them, and brought a tear to my eye by the time he finished telling his story. It was really good.
It can be everything, really heart-wrenching, really funny stories. And they are told often, too, by people that they're not professional storytellers. They're good. They're the kind of people at the party that, are good at telling the story.
Right.
But you meet so many people through
Yeah.
Tell Us Something. I think it's a wonderful thing.
This year, one thing that we're doing a little bit different, trying, is we weren't as successful getting grant funding this year as we were last year. So we're struggling with new methods of making this all work. So this year, a number of the events are going to be, we're sort of stealing a page from first night.
I was going to say, when I saw the button thing, I
You
thought,
have a
wow,
button,
Tom will have
and
something to say about that.
here's what the button looks like.
Okay.
And
It has treasure on it. That's cool.
and they're for sale for $15, and they entitle the holder to full Friday and Saturday festival access, which includes the author reception, the keynote reading, and the Literary Death March, which is a new feature this year
I
that's
saw
going to be
that.
at the Wilma, and the festival gala. But they also, the really neat thing is we've managed to have partners with a number of local merchants, Betty's Divine, Bitterroot Flower Shop, Cafe Dolce, The Depot, The Dram Shop, Fact and Fiction, Imagination Brewing, Le Petit Autre, Liquid Planet, Missoula Wine Merchants, Montgomery Distillery, Sweet Peaks, Shakespeare and Company, Thomas Marbar, and Zootown Brew.
All right.
All are giving discounts during the week with your button of like 20% or
Oh, that's great. That's also
a couple bucks off.
like
So
bike, walk,
you can get your money back really easily on the button, and
that's
at the same time
terrific.
support the book festival.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, you can't make this entire thing for free.
Yeah,
You can't do
it's
it.
tough. It's tough. We have a lot of tremendous partners that have helped out. The Wilma, of course, is sponsoring, or it has the venue for not only Tell Us Something, which is separately ticketed, but the readings Friday and Saturday night, and then the Literary Death March, I think, is there as well. And then there's an event at the Top Hat, I think. The other event that was last year was the first one, and it was a standing room only, sold out crowd, and it continues a fine tradition of Missoula literature, Montana literature, and drinking, which is pie and whiskey, which is it.
Oh, I heard about it.
Yeah,
I didn't go.
pie and whiskey will be at the Union Club at 9 p.m. on Thursday, and it's separately ticketed, and I recommend people get tickets in advance.
Because it was so popular.
Shakespeare and Company is selling tickets, or you can get them online. And it sold out last year. There was a line halfway around the block, people trying to get in. You get a piece of pie, homemade pie. You get a shot of Montgomery Distillery rye whiskey, and there's a baker's dozen of writers who have very short readings, largely tied somehow to either pie or whiskey or both.
Enough, right.
And it was just wonderful last year. It was a lot of fun.
Really loved it.
Yeah, no, and there's a great listing of readers here for that. We've also got a number of great authors coming in, both local and regional authors. One that I'm pleased to see coming back to Montana is a Helena native, Mally Malloy, who's well known as
the Malloy family.
Yes,
that,
yeah.
The Decemberist guy, Colin.
Colin
and the
is
judge.
Colin is her brother. They're both, you know, how that much talent can be in one family.
It's just there goes those Malloys. is all
You know,
I can say.
it's absolutely amazing. But she's in LA now, and she's got a children's book series out. She's got a new novel out. They're making a movie of one of her books, and she's doing a reading. Then we've got Annie Hillerman, Tony Hillerman's daughter, who's also an accomplished novelist. She's going to be here. We've got James Lee Burke is doing a reading,
him. He's a
and
great
you know
guy.
he's a Missoula treasure.
Yeah. Yes.
And just a lot of great local talent, regional talent, and national talent coming in. It's really not to be missed.
It's all happening this week.
It's all happening this week. Starts tomorrow night, and goes through Sunday.
Yeah, and if there's so much going on here, people at home, I know Scott has shown you, I can see the corner of my eye, has shown you the website, but do go to the website, or John, where can people pick up the festival guide?
These can be picked up at Fact and Fiction, Shakespeare and Company, boy, I'm not probably, I imagine the Wilma has some, and
University somewhere.
Bookstore has some.
Yeah.
And the website, as you mentioned,
yeah, they could save a tree, and he's been showing it to them.
Yep, is montanabookfestival.org.
Yeah.
Has a copy of this online. There's a real handy guide to look at online.
There's so many events.
There was a great piece in the Missoulian last week, and in the Entertainer, or in the Independent last week as well.
Yep.
So those were
they're really
places
wonderful,
to check out.
lasting programs too.
And
I think.
we've got a lot of publicity on Facebook and social media. So you can look for it online in a number of different places.
Okay.
There's a traditional printing, letterpress printing demo that's going to be taking place at the Missoula Art Museum.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, local printer, Michael Seitz and Aaron Parrott from Helena are collaborating on that, and there's going to be a couple demonstrations there. So,
people, you got to take in a piece of it. Like, that's all there is to it. It's pretty amazing. This week, all the way through Saturday?
Through Sunday. Through Sunday. We actually have things going on Sunday as well. So.
And their website again is montanabookfestival.org. John, thanks so much for coming by. Yeah, you
appreciate
know
it.
You know it. We'll be right back. We still have a number of guests, and next up is Lance. He's from Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. He's going to be talking about a party celebration coming up this Saturday in Milltown. So watch this PSA. All right.
Get up, I know you found a way. Head up, look through those clouds of gray.
Now it's our turn. Go to ourturntohelp.org and donate what you can. Hope is on the way.
Mommy, I'm hungry.
We're almost there, baby. Do you want to play a game on Mommy's phone?
No.
I think you will when you see it.
AT&T reminds you, it can wait. Nature Nathan here, on my own in the Montana wild. I'm used to having my best mate Liam behind the camera, but he said he was rather tired of getting chased by bears. The show must go on. Set up quite nice, really. Stuff from a lovely fish dinner. And I've got my bear spray. Oh well, I should be fine for the evening.
When adventuring in bear country, remember, hike in groups. Bring bear spray and know how to use it. Make noise and don't run. Be bear aware.
At Missoula Aging Services, you'll always be greeted with a warm welcome. Whether you are caring for an aging loved one or you're an older adult yourself, our friendly staff is ready to connect you to the help you need. You will always get unbiased advice, a free assessment of your needs, and personalized information about the resources available. See what we can do for you. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
What? Hey, we're back. I just saw something really disturbing on the screen. Well, Lance Olson is here. He's the AmeriCorps member for Milltown State Park. And welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know it. So there's a celebration going on for National Public Lands Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Milltown State Park is gonna take part in it.
Yeah, so National Public Lands Day is actually a nationwide celebration of all of our public lands, and usually our Montana state parks want to take advantage of that, and we want to throw some sort of celebration either for volunteering or presentations or something for people to get out in their public lands and celebrate it. So we're doing that this Saturday at 10:30 over at the Milltown State Park at the Overlook is where it's all going to take place.
And this, for people in Missoula, it's a relatively new state park,
Yeah.
right? Created after the Milltown Dam was removed and all this to doing.
Yeah.
And the overlook is really cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view of the valley. It's kind of centered around the Blackfoot and Clark Park confluence right there.
Yeah.
It's really the only developed part of the park right now, but there's a lot in place for more future development to really bring people out there.
Yeah. And so Saturday the 24th, and then the bike from Free Cycles, that's like a group is going to come from Missoula. So if
Yeah.
you want to join a biking group, you can.
Yeah, we've joined with a few different organizations in Missoula, and one of them is Adventure Cycling. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year, and they've created Bike Your Park Day, which is also the same day. So part of Bike Your Park Day is people can meet at Free Cycles, and then they're going to take the Kim Williams Trail all the way out to the park, just past East Missoula.
Yeah.
So, on Deer Creek Road.
Nice. And then 10:30 to noon, planting 200 ponderosa pine trees on the floodplain.
Yep. People will meet at the Overlook at around 10:30, and then we're going to hike down. This is kind of our Montana State Park's contribution to National Public Lands Day is to plant 200 ponderosa pines.
That's
We're going to
pretty
hike
cool.
down to the floodplain, and we'll have refreshments and snacks for people afterwards for the volunteers.
Right. They can work hard and
Yep.
then they get rewarded. Because
Yeah.
noon to 3 is the Community at Confluence program. Includes music, food vendor, kids activities, and some speakers.
Yep. So that's kind of the bigger portion of the day. We have combined with our friends group, Friends of Two Rivers, out of Milltown.
They're
And-
great. I've interviewed them in the past.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, and one of their big events in the year is Community at the Confluence, and so we're joining with them for the same day for those activities. I'm going to be putting on some kids' activities.
What are you going to do for them?
I'm going to make like a bird feeder and activities around birds and
Nice.
stuff. So, and then the speakers are from kind of talking about the restoration project of the dam and kind of the history of the area. We're going to have a gentleman come out and talk about being bear aware.
Is that the Bear Aware guy? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now either. But yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, he's gonna have a booth set up. We're gonna have a couple other booths from the Montana Natural History Center and the Bonner Milltown History Center, and we're gonna have food there, and then live music from kind of a friend of the friends group.
Excellent. They
They're
probably do the
friends.
best work.
Yeah.
And then the fun run is really going to happen, organized
Yeah.
by Run Wild Missoula, and it's called Back of the Pack.
Yeah, so Run Wild Missoula kind of has their own subgroup called
Yeah.
Back of the Pack, and it's just a a casual fun run on the trails that we have out there.
Oh, that's great. Because, boy, you're doing this through the AmeriCorps program. And I was telling you, MCAT has used AmeriCorps program in the past and really enjoyed working with 2 individuals just this past summer. But you've had a good time, it sounds like, it, being an AmeriCorps member attached. Are you attached to Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, or is it Milltown State Park?
Milltown State Park in particular.
Oh, cool. So you've learned a lot about the park. So you're in your 9th month of your service time.
Yeah, it's been an incredible experience and worthwhile through AmeriCorps to do this. So.
Yeah. If you knew how many people lost sleep over removing that dam. There was such a huge anxiety, you know, that those heavy metals would come through and poison the Clark Fork and all kinds of to-doing. So it really is at, these are the salad days, I guess, of the post-dam thing. And a lot of people in the Bonner Milltown area have spent so many hours, you know, planning what should be built around this enormous change in their lives. So yeah, it's really cool that it's come down to like, wow, it's now casual and you can have a fun public lands day. And just to remind folks, it's coming up this coming Saturday, September 24th, and it's part of National Public Lands Day at Milltown State Park, which is just east of Missoula. And those things we talked about are going on there. Should we send them anywhere if they need more information or something?
Yeah, our state parks website, stateparks.mt.gov, will have a link to our events, and it'll give the address and full schedule of events, everything they'll need to know.
Cool. Well, Lance, thanks so much for being on TV. I'm waiting to be on TV. And we'll be right back because I have more people for you to meet. And Scott has another PSA while we change out guests. And we'll be right back on this edition of Missoula Live.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
For too long, corporate tobacco has exploited our people, manipulated our practices, and profited from our addiction. No more. If you struggle with commercial tobacco addiction, call the American Indian Commercial Tobacco Quit Line today at 1-855-372-0037 and talk to someone who understands.
Hello, folks. Do you remember? Look down that lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry.
Lonesome Road, and that phrase, hang down your head and cry, I think applies especially to any person whose carelessness with a fire in the forest results in the destruction of vitally needed timber and valuable watershed lands. Certainly no road is more lonesome and desolate than a road through a burned-over, blackened, and ugly forest.
Look down that lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry.
Anti-bullying. Oh, do you have the audio on? Oh, good. So Scott says he has the audio on. We're back with Missoula Live, and we are talking with Angela about the upcoming homecoming week, Well, you guys are looking at a little bit of the Missoula Homecoming coverage of 2015. It's a great parade. It's a wonderful community event. But wait, there's more.
There is.
Angela Weisenberger is here from the Alumni Association of the University of Montana to tell us more about it. Thank you, Angela, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
There
you
is
know
a
it.
whole week of events. So
Right.
there's lots of stuff going on. We start this weekend with the homecoming kickoff at Southgate Mall. It's at 1 o'clock. We have the Spirit Squad, the drum line, Monty will be down there. Lots of fun, excitement for about an hour in the afternoon. Kickoff homecoming. You can enter to win the ultimate tailgate package, win football
Excellent.
tickets and an RV tailgate spot. So everybody come out on Sunday and get excited about homecoming.
That's great. And that's at what time at the mall?
At 1 o'clock at the
Okay.
mall in the clock court.
Yeah. Everyone knows it's at the Clock Court. I mean, that's where Tuba Christmas takes place.
Right.
All the big events at the mall in the Clock Court.
Well, we start down at JCPenney with the drum line and
Right.
go down the mall. It's a really fun, exciting
Oh, yeah.
afternoon. So, and then just a whole week of different events all over campus. We have a huge calendar of events on our website. You can go to grizzlum.com.
And I'm really liking the design
Under
this
the big
year.
sky,
Yeah.
yes.
And having the constellations like Montana with Missoula as one.
Yes.
And the grizzly claw as the other. It's kind of a cool
Should be fun,
concept.
yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize that all of this stuff goes on for the homecoming week. And some of them sound really old-fashioned and sweet. Like which one that there's a singing
Yep.
thing that goes on.
So we have a lot of traditional events. We brought back a few years ago the Hello Walk, and we get students and campus community to come out and paint the sidewalk in front of
Yeah.
Turner Hall. It's just a great way to come onto campus and see that. And then on Friday night at our pep rally, yes, we have singing on the steps. We brought
Yeah.
that back a couple years ago, and it's really a great opportunity to have the UM choir come out and do some songs, do some of the traditional things. This year they have a new all men's choir, so
Oh,
that
yeah?
should be really nice.
Huh.
And then we have the lighting at the M and the
Yeah.
fireworks show. We get fireworks this year. So,
Oh, you do?
Yes.
I guess it's going to be wet enough or
Yes,
cool enough to
So we've got approval from the
fire department.
fire marshal, so we're good to go this year.
And the lighting of the M, will that be using those luminary bag things you guys
No,
have?
those we do around the oval.
Yeah.
Those are set up beforehand, but the lighting of the M is, we have a bunch of volunteers that come up and climb up there in the dark with their flashlights, and then they get the word to go and they light it up, and
Yeah.
it's great to see. I think it'll be really neat with our theme this year with Under the Big Sky.
Yeah,
It's kind
that's
of fun.
true. And this idea of stars and constellations
Yes.
is kind of cool.
Well, we have a beautiful Montana sky, so
Yeah.
we're in a
Take advantage
perfect
of
spot.
it.
Yep. We have a lot of sponsors to thank this year. We could not do it without the volunteers and the sponsorships that we get for this year. We have Access Physical Therapy, Black Owl Tattoo, Copperopolis, Farmer State Bank, the Greater Missoula Family YMCA. You guys,
Yeah, we got to
MCAT,
be sponsors.
yep. Montana Acupuncture and Herbal Medicine, the Oxford Saloon, Oz Architects, Zip Beverage, Big Sky Breakout, Hunter Bay Coffee, Jeanette Rankin Peace Center and the Olive Branch, Missoula Food Bank, and Western Montana Clinic. And then we have several participating locations, and what they're doing is they're offering either a discount or a get a gift with purchase thing on the homecoming parade day on Saturday.
Oh, that's great. Similar like the book festival. John was talking about that, where a lot of merchants are saying, oh, if you're part of this event, you can have 10% off or more.
We're trying to encourage people because everybody's downtown on Saturday. It's a big community event, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of businesses that people don't necessarily go into on Saturday. So we're encouraging them to visit. The carousel will be giving buy one get one free
Oh,
rides.
good.
and
That's worthy.
Bitterroot Flower Shop is doing a deal on corsages, so you can give them a call.
Oh, that's sweet, too.
The Missoula Butterfly House and Insectarium has a special getting in, and Smooch Cosmetic Boutique. So lots of great opportunities. All the information is on our website. We have so
Right.
much to do.
And Scott, you've shown that to folks at home, right? Because that sometimes can be longer when it's an institutional address, you know. Is it long to get to this? You have to go University of Montana /
Nope, it's grizzlum.com, and then right
Not
on
bad.
the tile, the homecoming tile is the main
Yeah. Oh, good.
thing on there. You can click on that, and all that information is there.
Yeah, yeah. And now typically, I mean, I could speak a little to our experience. You know, I think we'll be in our 13th, 14th year covering the homecoming parade is a really fun experience. It's very diverse. This year I expect a lot of political type entries, but I don't know because it's a big election year.
Yeah, I don't know. As
yeah.
of Friday, we had, I think, 60 or 70 entries. We usually get over 100, and they tend to trickle in right at the last minute. They always do.
Yeah.
We have a deadline, but they always call, can we still get in? Can we still get in?
And we should let people know that they can get in then, right? They should honor the theme. I mean, there's guidelines for doing it. It's got to be safe. People shouldn't be throwing candy. I don't know.
Right.
But if you're a business or a cause or something and you haven't thought about it, it is really fun, and it's really fun exposure.
It's the biggest parade in Montana, so.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
I believe it, too.
We love doing it every year.
Yeah, and the parade is 10 a.m. on the 1st of October?
Correct. Saturday, October 1st.
We better be ready. It's a week from this Saturday. And it will start at the X's again? Or?
The parade actually starts at the corner of Higgins and Broadway, but the lineup is on Pine and Spruce and all of the back streets.
Remember one year it was on Broadway somehow?
Yeah.
That wasn't.
No,
that
we
didn't
went
work
back
out.
to we went back to the normal route. So it'll work good. We'll see how the construction is going.
Yeah, that's true too. So the corners, so people know, the corners of the streets on Higgins are being reconfigured by Montana Department of Transportation in order to concur with ADA standards. So that's why all this work is being done. So the corners may not be accessible during the parade time, or a couple of them will be construction sites.
Technically not the parade route itself. Those should be all fine. It's just the lineup. And just pay attention. There's a lot of volunteers and parade coordinators that are down there, and try to be patient. There's a lot of entries. It's a little chaotic at the beginning, and then once it gets going,
it'll smooth out. And then
out.
people could be in what we call the hip strip south of the Higgins Street Bridge, and the parade will it go down to University and then go up?
Yep.
Are some of the floats pairing off?
It breaks at those two streets, same as it usually does. So.
But if you're on University, you can catch quite a bit of the parade going up to Main Hall.
And then you guys will be streaming it live.
Yeah,
so
we'll be streaming it live. And we have this new cellular bonding technology. We can stream live from anywhere there's a decent cell phone signal and send that signal to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously, as well as our own website. So
the other thing I was going to mention, we're doing a new thing this year. It's a homecoming scavenger hunt.
Oh, yeah.
So we have different campus landmarks, different spirit and event locations, sponsors. If you go and you take a picture, or take a selfie at one of those locations and post it to our Facebook or Instagram accounts with Grizz Under the Big Sky. We're doing drawings for prizes all week. So
that's interesting. That's new, right? To activate the social media.
Yes.
So to find it, what is the Facebook people should look for?
We're going to be posting pictures every day starting Sunday of one spot, and you have to figure out what that is. There'll be clues, and then go to that location and take a picture. And you get a little history about what's going on at that spot.
It's like you're getting a little Pokemon action into it. So people just go on Facebook and find like Grizz Alumni Association.
Montana Alumni.
Montana Alumni will get you there.
Yeah.
And they can learn more about it. That seems fun.
Yeah.
For the younger set, perhaps. And it's a wonderful time for alumni to come, from near and far back to the campus. There are events do you guys have the dinner set up and all of that?
So we have, on Friday is our big day, and we have our Distinguished Alumni Awards ceremony.
Right.
We're honoring 4 alums with our highest honor at the University of Montana, and those recipients this year are Daryl Choate, Timothy Conver, Arlen Fishbaugh, and Tom Seekins. So they'll be coming back to campus.
Arlen, I know her from the Montana Arts Council for so many years, and she's retiring, I think, this year.
So they'll be back on campus. We'll be giving them the Distinguished Alumni Award, and then we have a reception that follows that, and then we go straight out to the pep rally out on the Oval with singing on the steps. And then we go across the river over to the Holiday Inn, and that's where we have our annual All Alumni Social. Everybody's invited to come down for free food and music, and it's just you get the marching band in there at 9 o'clock on Friday night. If you haven't heard the marching band in the atrium of the Holiday Inn, you are are not experiencing homecoming.
Right.
So
it's a very vibrant sound. But isn't that nice of the Alumni Association? And we should mention people maybe of more interest, locally. If you're a member of the Alumni Association, you can use Mansfield Library with borrowing privileges. And I think it's still $50, $35.
Yeah, single annual membership is $50.
Yeah.
And all of our membership dues go towards our ability to do these events and programs that are in the community.
Yeah.
We have a lot of other events as well. If you go to our website, you can see that. But
Yeah.
homecoming is our biggest.
It's the big focus.
Yes.
Brings all the eyes out.
And we have a lot of fun with it. So.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, MCAT does too. I think everyone really enjoys that part of the Alumni Association contribution to quality of life in town.
And it's a Missoula community event. It's not
Yeah,
just
town
university
and gown.
Yes.
And you really see it, in the parade, and of course the excitement for the game. I shouldn't ask you because I don't know the answer to the question of who are they playing that day.
They are playing the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. And the game kickoff time is a lot later this year.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So even though the parade will still start at 10 o'clock, there's going to be a little bit bigger gap between the parade and the actual game.
And now if people want to get tickets to the game, that's a big deal, right?
That is, they would have to go to GrizzTix, to athletics, and call them up and see. I know there's a time and a certain amount that they release closer to the actual game. They kind of wait up until a certain point. So, but give them a call. They can let you know what.
Yeah, it's going on
when
in that
and how many
department.
and,
But it's nice that you could come on the show because all eyes are on the game. But it's nice to remind the viewers there's so many other things like Distinguished Alumni Awards and those sentimental things to me, like the singing and the lighting of the M. Those are all part of the homecoming week, and it starts a week before this Sunday, a week before the big game, or 6 days before the big game.
Yes.
Well, Angela, thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Another year, isn't it something?
I know, this is my 5th homecoming with the Alumni Association.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, Scott is going to show you another wonderful PSA. We'll bring out our last guest. Mike Steinberg is here from Roxy Theater to talk about Montana Film Festival coming up in October. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Buckle up, Montana. Life is a ride you want to stay on. Send a buckle up reminder to a friend at plantolive.mt.gov.
Sergeant Greg Amos with the Missoula Police Department. I'd like to talk a little bit about something I see downtown routinely, and that is pedestrians crossing against the pedestrian heads. So I'd just like to explain what is actually legal. You cannot begin crossing in the crosswalk when it's either flashing and in the countdown or solid red. The only time it's legal to begin crossing in that crosswalk is when the white crossing sign is displayed. What the countdown is for, and the only thing that that's there for, is to tell you how much time you have to finish crossing the street, presuming that you started when it was legal to do so.
I'm Montana Hope.
I am Montana Hope.
I am Montana Hope.
For the last 30 years, the Montana Hope Project has been granting wishes to Montana children who face life-threatening illnesses.
I'm Montana Hope.
To make a donation and help their wishes come true, please visit montanahope.org.
We are Montana Hope.
Team versus team.
That's as good as it gets.
Oh, man.
So I'm back with Mike Steinberg. He is the executive director of the Roxy Theater, and he's here to talk about the Montana Film Festival. Congratulations, that's great.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks. Yeah, we're excited. The second year. Great lineup. We're actually before this, I was proofing the lineup, to make sure we have all the times and dates correct as we make that announcement. I think it's going to get announced today, what all the films are. but I can share a lot of it with you right now. It's nothing
feel
too secret.
free. And Scott could show the website that has I love the website design, by the way.
Isn't that
It was
groovy?
so cool. Yeah, like
Yeah,
there's
you can just sit and play with it and make the, you know,
Right.
like it's some kind of Jenga game or something.
It's really cool. We got it on the screen now. It's October. Is that the
6th through the 9th,
Right.
yeah. October 6th through the 9th. It's all the films play at the Roxy,
Yeah.
but there's events happening around. For example, right across the street on the 8th, which is a Saturday, the festival coincides with the Hip Strip block party this year. So
Oh,
we're
I
going
read
to have a
about
big
that.
block party at the Senior Center parking lot.
Yeah.
And we'll have, booths. We'll have a mechanical bull, which I expect to see you on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You have a limit
Check
of
with
4
my
hours to ride that thing.
chiropractor.
But we'll also show a movie that night in the parking lot, outdoor screening of The
that's
Princess
cool.
Bride.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, nice family event. But it's all kind of centered right there on that block. And then
Yeah.
we've got other parties and events around other hip strip spots.
What was your inspiration? Like, the Roxy is showing, and people don't know, the Roxy is showing wonderful independent films and 3 screens. You've been at it for a good number of years. And in addition, you also have responsibilities of the International Wildlife Film Festival. In addition, you also have the Montana Film Academy. In addition, so
Yeah,
but I know you
like
have
why
a,
do
right,
you got
but
all
I know
that?
you
Why do
have
another
a
one?
history as a film programmer.
Sure. Well, I think, the International Wildlife Film Festival will be 40 years this spring. So I'll be back to celebrate that with you. And the programming that we do at the Roxy is very broad. It's everything from brand new releases to classic titles, and it's documentary, and it's fiction, and it's animation. And, there wasn't really a sort of a film festival in the state that really, focused on fiction and brought in films from other festivals.
Right.
And that was really our goal, is to celebrate film as an art form and bring in the films that are playing at bigger festivals like Sundance, like the LA Film Fest. Toronto and Telluride, of course, very interesting programming there. The timing's not always that great because we can't necessarily announce our programming. However, we know that a couple of the films that we're playing this year were just at Toronto last week. For example, Certain Women, which was shot down in Livingston.
I've read a lot about that.
But really, just to tie that up, the goal was to bring in a fiction festival to our town. Because, there's Big Sky Documentary Film Festival is fantastic. A lot of whatever they do, 100 or 200
Amazing
documentaries
amount,
a year. That's awesome. And most of IWFF is nonfiction as well, just the nature of a wildlife film. It's pretty uncommon that we would play a fiction film there. But we wanted the opportunity to screen films that might not otherwise play, which a number of the films in our lineup are truly independent films that wouldn't even get a week run necessarily at the Roxy, because they're independent or have such a small distributor, or really the audience is
that small.
200 people
them,
who
right.
come in that weekend,
Yeah.
So we wanted to be able to do that, and we wanted to be able to create an event that celebrates what we're doing year-round at the theater in kind of a very special way.
And maybe bring new people in that may not be aware of all the work you guys have been doing there. So they say, wow, the film festival is a little higher profile than showing movies.
Yeah,
regularly.
precisely. So for example, Certain Women, which we know will be a very big draw, was shot in Livingston and stars our very own Lily Gladstone.
Yeah, she was at the Roxy, right?
She worked there for over a year, And she was at the theater when she got the part.
Oh, wow.
She was on the phone and she flipped out. Of course, we all flipped out with her. So she's a very good friend, and we're really delighted to be able to screen it and present it to the community. And that's the kind of thing that's pretty obvious. Of course, that's going to bring in folks. I mean, we want to see Montana on film, and we want to see Lily's performance.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, but, that'll come back in November. We already have a date set for the regular run of it. It's a lot of other films, like there's a film called The Alchemist Cookbook that we're doing, which is being released by Oscilloscope, small kind of boutique distributor.
Right.
We're bringing the actor, Ty Hickson is coming in for that, and we're bringing in Charles Burnett, who directed Killer of Sheep in the 70s and To Sleep with Anger in the 90s. And he's one of the most extraordinary filmmakers.
Director,
he's coming.
I saw the lineup and I said, wow, gee, I wonder why they're showing To Sleep with Anger. I mean, it was a great film. But I had, I remember screening it at the Crystal in the early 90s or something like
exactly.
that.
Well, he's so unsung. I mean, in a way, he's unsung, except that, of course, his film Killer of Sheep is on the Library of Congress's list of films
See,
to
that
preserve
one
at all
I don't
costs.
know. I know
It's
To Sleep with Anger.
amazing. It's amazing. It's a film that was, in 1977, presenting African-American life in the most sort of down-to-earth way, as opposed to a lot of what you saw typically in cinema in the 70s, which were, African-American characters as, criminals or hustlers or whatever. And Burnett's film is so sensitive and sweet, and it's just this great little story. And in that sense, he really does embody exactly what we're trying to present in terms of film as art and these great kind of visionaries behind the films that get made.
So you are bringing people in like
Tons.
Charles Burnett.
Charles Burnett, Emily Hubley, who's an animator. She's the daughter of John and Faith Hubley, who began animating together in the 50s. John even earlier than that, but made these wonderful little independent films. You may know Emily's work. She's been involved in some documentaries, and she did the animation in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. All that beautiful line drawn stuff.
Yeah, that was her.
So she's coming in. Also, Ken Turan from the LA Times.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great.
Ken
he was here before over the Chinatown thing, which I wish I
that was super fun. Yeah, that was this will be Ken's third visit to the Roxy. He was here for Chinatown, and then the year before, maybe it was 2 years before, he came with Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
So he's a huge fan of classic films, and he'll be doing the discussion with Charles for To Sleep with Anger.
Yeah.
But he's also a major fan of certain women, so he's going to lead that discussion as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And a critics panel that will feature Mark Mohan, who writes for the Oregonian. And Portland, and our very own Erica Fredrickson. They'll discuss what film criticism is in this day and age.
So there's an element of the film festival. It's not just like here's the film on the screen and off you go, but it's people.
Yeah.
Bringing people together so the audience can do that Q&A with someone whose work they've just seen.
Exactly, and a variety. I mean, we have other narrative filmmakers. Sophia Takal, whose new film is called Always Shine. It's kind of a Brian De Palma-esque thriller. She will be here, but also experimental filmmakers, a woman named Julia Oldham, whose animation and experimental films are really remarkable, as well as a gentleman named Zlatko Kosik, who's amazing, really, really, truly kind of video art that I know you'll appreciate.
Oh yeah, I like video
So
art.
he'll be here to talk about it. We've got other guests with short films and with features. I mentioned some of the actors that are coming. There's a film called Astray about a Muslim immigrant in Minnesota. Musa Saeed is the director of that film. He'll be here to discuss that as well.
Wow.
I mean, it is that kind of experience where it's films that you might not otherwise see.
Yeah, that's one.
It's so easy to say.
Yeah.
Along with people that you may not meet, certainly not in Missoula, Montana.
Yeah, and you'd be able to, it says 2 minutes, you'd be able to look at their work and then say, oh, I have this question, or this struck me that way.
Yeah, and in each case with Emily Hubley, with Zlatko and Julia, also with Charles Burnett, we're partnering up with the University of Montana, and these filmmakers will all be involved with the Media Arts program and talking with students.
I want to make sure that people know it's October the 6th through the 9th.
6th through the 9th.
And it has its own MontanaFilmFestival.org website.
That's right. You can find info at theroxytheater.org, but also if you just go to MontanaFilmFestival.org, everything you need to know is right there. Passes are available.
Yeah,
you name it.
Like 150 gets you everything or something.
Everything. Go to the parties, have some tamales.
Right.
And
then it goes down from there.
It goes down
to
to
150.
If you don't have that, maybe just a ticket.
Yeah.
Right? $10.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for taking the time.
Joel, thank you. It's always great.
That.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, gentle viewer, for sticking with us for this edition of Missoula Live in mid-September. I'll just remind you guys, the Do It in 72 contest, it comes up. And it is going to be at the Roxy Theater.
At the Montana Film Fest.
During the Montana Film Fest, the screening will be. But to get to the screening, you have to make the movie. And that would start September 30th, Friday at 5. Come to MCAT at 500 North Higgins. Get your 3 elements that have to be in your movie, and then have 72 hours to win either the 500, 300, or 100 cash dollars. So thanks again for watching this edition of Missoula Live. If you know of a group and you want to see them on the show, give me a call at MCAT. The number is 542-6228. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird. Thanks for watching.